Hi, my name is Kola Oshalusi. I'm a photographer and your host for the Creative Business Podcast. Creative Business Podcast is where, we invite talents, creatives, to talk about their journey as creatives, how they run businesses, how they've been able to build businesses and enterprises. Can't wait to have you join us. Can't wait to have you learn from some of our amazing guests. See you in there. So hello and welcome to the Creative Business Podcast. My name is Kola Oshalusi, and with me on today's conversation is Mrs. Janet Nwankwo. You're welcome on this amazing podcast.
Thank you.
As the Creative Business Podcast it's focused on women in the creative space that are doing business. It's easy. It's a space where people get to learn, from your experiences. I know you've been doing this for a while and all of that. Let's start on a very light, easy note. I just want to maybe, introduce yourself a little more, let people know you, and then we can take it from there.
My name is Janet, and I run Imagery. I have been at this for a while.
How while is a while, huh?
A while, a long while. So I had a 9 to 5.
Okay.
But I was running Imagery. At that time, I was just starting, so it's not like I had jobs or anything, but it was something I wanted to do. So I was running it on the side. Some days you call in sick, you get it.
And we get it. That's what happened with side also. Say we did it. We get it.
So yes, and God has been faithful. It's blossomed into a full-blown business, and we thank God.
Hello. So, speaking of, moving from side hustle to main hustle, so what actually sparked your interest in the industry in the first place before you ever became a side hustle? Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
it was money.
The root of all good things. Okay, money is good. Okay.
Yeah, but it wasn't just money, I think. Money was a major factor. But apart from money, it was also the fact that I loved like all things creative. I loved creating. In fact, I used to design my own outfits back then. So
You design this one?
yes.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Thank you. So yeah, I used to design my outfits. I used to do a lot of posing. The photographer in my university used to call me when I'm just passing by to help him pose the people that he was. But at this then I didn't even see it as a profitable business or something I wanted to go into until my brother asked me if I wanted to do it professionally. So I said, we can give it a try. Then he had a friend who was a photographer, and according to him, his friend was making good money.
Okay. And for you, it's always about the money anyway. So we get. No, I
See, back then we wanted cool.
Yeah.
But yes, and then I went to learn with August Udo, and it was really interesting. It was very interesting.
Okay, I like that. So, if someone saw your work today, what would you want them to understand about you as a creative? From what you see about your work, what does it tell anybody who's experiencing your work, seeing it for the first time?
I make my clients feel special. So I think their pictures have a lot of emotion to it and creativity, I guess, in my own way. So I am not very feminine when you see me. I've heard that I am not very feminine, but yes, my work is a bit feminine. So when you see it, you see a lot of emotion, a lot of creativity, a lot of sometimes I love florals way too much.
I like that.
But yes.
So, the topic for today is being a woman in a male-dominated industry, vis-a-vis a male-dominated creative sector. So, when you first entered this field of photography, did you immediately notice the gender imbalance in any way?
I would say yes.
Okay.
So like I said, I went for a course with August, and in that entire class, I think I was either the only girls,
Wow.
or we were 2. And we had a class of, I think, 30,
Wow.
between 20 to 30 people.
Wow.
So yes, I think it was glaring.
So now we're like 8% of the population.
So I think it was mostly about interest back then. Not a lot of females were looking at photography as a career.
I mean, so saying that, do you think anything has really changed in that perspective? Moving forward down the line.
Yeah, I think so. I think we have more female photographers. There has been like changes. It now looks more enticing and more creative because at the end of the day, your photography, it's kind of part of you in a way. So your vision, how you see, your creative inputs, everything that makes your picture stand out is part of you, kind of. That's how I see it. So I think people have more room to explore, and I think a lot of girls are looking more to
make one.
well.
So what do you think has actually been the main driving force, now having more female in it? Yes, I know you started talking about, well, I mean, maybe 1, 2, 3 things I think has now been like a real force, now driving more female into,
Social media.
Okay. Lovely.
Social media, and then we have like makeup artists that want to take pictures, but they don't want to pay somebody for pictures.
Really? Is that a good thing?
It's not a good thing. But still, you have them also taking pictures. In as much as their pictures will not come, because at the end of the day, what they want is the face. It's not going to be as creative as a creative director, like making magic. But still, that is an added whatever.
Okay, I like that. I mean, you're the professional with shooting portraits and all of that. With women, and we can see that in a lot of your work. How your work connects. Like you said, how you push emotion in what you do. But so, did you have to navigate spaces where you were the only woman in the room? Yes, you do a lot of portraits. You find yourself in a space where there's so many men, and then you have to sort of navigate the fact that being the only woman, you know do you ever feel uncomfortable? At some point you feel intimidated? Maybe you're shooting with clients, and literally maybe all your clients are men, or there's very few women in there. Or maybe I know there was a time I think you do a couple of events as well. Have you ever felt somehow being the female, trying to control everybody, trying to capture those moments, trying to wiggle through the crowd? I mean, have you ever had to, navigate all those aspects?
I would say for me, I've been a bit lucky that I've not had to have like uncomfortable encounters. Photography has helped me in a lot of ways. It has helped me like come out of my shell. I used to be very quiet. I used to be very shy, but it is not possible.
I mean, especially when your driver is money, you have to shy.
Oh my goodness. So yes, I feel like I have not had an uncomfortable encounter in any situation. I do events, I do portraits, I do even babies sometimes. Only for friends. That baby is hard.
But that's one area some people love. Even for me, it's like babies.
So the funny thing is you have a lot of women in
that
children
Is
photography.
there a reason for that?
I feel like maybe the nurturing kind of spirits and the patience.
Because women nurture anyway. That's so bizarre.
It is part of us. I have tried. It is not a calling for me. I've tried it.
I love that. I love that. Speaking of which, have you ever had to work twice as hard to be taken seriously as a female photographer?
So I would say for me, my work speaks for me. Initially, when starting out, I did have maybe 1 or 2 clients that were kind of condescending in the way they speak to me.
Then like you feel.
Well, okay, so I said I've not had uncomfortable encounters. But yeah, it may be one or two. So I can't really place. In fact, I've even forgotten about it. But yes, you have a couple of clients that just feel, oh, she's a woman. Will she be able to do the work? Or are you sure this one can take pictures? That kind of comments just fly around somehow and you hear it. But still on still, like I said, my work speaks for me. So from the word get-go, when I forget the money part, when I said this is what I want to do, I put my heart and soul into it. And I have not regretted it one bit. There were times where the money was not there, but still, I feel like the love for it is what pushes you through during those periods.
There have been crazy moments, but
But still,
your work.
when the work comes out, they'll be like, and the woman shot it, oh.
I love that. I love that. What are subtle ways women in the photography space have been underestimated? I know you talked about.
So imagine you are the main. In fact, I had a client call the office once, and I happened to pick the call. And after negotiating, speaking, talking, everything, the person now said, so when with the photographer, when will we get to speak to the photographer?
Oh, that's bad.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. So to them you were what now?
Office assistant, front desk.
No, this is so local.
But still, there are those clients that will be like, when you tell them, oh, I'm the photographer, they'll be like, oh, wow. And you're a lady. That's so cool. So they're the ones that appreciate you, but they're still the ones that will be like, a woman.
Doing this job.
But still, yeah, we thank God.
So have you ever experienced a time when your ideas were ignored, so possibly a man created it? Maybe your creative process, maybe you had created a body of work, presented it to a client, or even if it's something you put up somewhere, you possibly think it wasn't really appreciated, maybe for a magazine editorial, so the man creates it and everybody is like, super excited about it.
I'd say no. I've not had that kind of experience, to be honest. I have a mood board when I'm going into my shoots. I share with my clients. Everybody is in agreement. And yes, I have assistants coming, but like I said, they're assistants and I am the main person. So it hasn't happened.
No. Okay, I like that. So do you feel being a woman sort of shapes the way you approach your creativity?
Yes, a whole lot.
Okay.
The way I react, the way I engage my clients, the way I speak to my clients, the atmosphere in the studio when they come in, even when I have events, of the way I approach them, I think all of that stems from me being me. And I know I have a little feminine touch or approach in how I approach my clients.
Interesting. So have you ever felt the pressure to tone down your work, your personality when you get into certain spaces? No. Okay.
No. Well, I have different moods and different.
It's the one you want, I give you.
I tell you.
You bring it to me, I give it to you. I love that.
Yes. So I don't feel the need to tone down or tone up. I just switch depending on where I am at or the kind of emotion or aura I get from environment.
So, for you as a mother, when do you feel the most creative? Juggling between being a female creative, a wife, a mother, that pressure, that stress. When is your most creative moment? At night when
I swear down.
when you're
I swear down.
or in the morning when you're up, which when
The funny thing is I've always been nocturnal, funny enough. Yes, I have always been nocturnal. But I feel my creative juices just kind of come alive more at night than during the day. During the day, sometimes it is not me you see.
It's so funny as I get that. I see that. I mean, I totally understand. I'm kind of nocturnal as well. I think it's something with creative. I don't know how we get into this.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of nocturnal. I realize that I get extremely active from like 4 p.m. So as if I wake up at 4 p.m. and then I run it till like 1, 2 a.m. Yeah, I don't know why that happens. No. But I get it. I get it. So now, how where do you think the role of representation, women is important in the creative space? Do you think they're underrepresented? Do you think they should be more?
Yes, very underrepresented.
So in leadership spaces as well, do you think we need more women in the creative sector in leadership? Considering, I mean, definitely, like you said a few minutes ago, the imbalance, your ratio was more between like an 8%, representation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they're a bit underrepresented, but I feel the trajectory at which we're going, more female powerhouses are coming up, and I feel that there might be a balance very soon if there isn't already.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So, do you think the industry is genuinely improving, women participation, or you think the changes that we're experiencing with, more women being active are just surface, that deep down there's still a problem within the space?
So as a society,
Mm.
I feel like women are not underrepresented, or they're not. We're still a bit backwards, but as long as you hold your see, for me, I've not had any. I've not. I can't say this would make me change my mind from being a creative, or I was a graphic artist before photography. Yeah, so I have always been in male dominated spaces. So I feel maybe I've just been comfortable in that space.
So you've never felt intimidated per
I've never
se?
felt intimidated, exactly. That's the word I'm looking for. So as long as women don't feel intimidated in whatever area that they choose to go to.
I love the fact that, you've talked about not being intimidated. You talk about, being able to build your personality and everything. Now let's go a bit deeper. Have you ever at any point thought of saying, you know what, I'm done?
Ah.
I'm done. I can't.
Exactly.
Yeah, sorry.
Have you ever been at that point? I feel like every creative has been there.
I say me, I zigzagging around on it. Like steady. Like, who sent me? Who sent me? I go school. Why am I doing this?
See, I have gone to look for my certificates sometimes. But the love is, which is why I mentioned earlier that, see, apart from money, you need to have passion. If you don't have that passion, forget it. You go back. You go back to that 9 to 5.
Okay, so let's look at this. So what are those things that actually helped you push through those moments?
Passion.
Passion.
And passion. And also growth.
Oh man.
At some point, I had only family and friends that were booking me. And like, I put my heart and soul every single time I hold my camera. I put my heart and soul to it. So there was this time, in fact, whenever I take pictures of my family and friends, they'll say,
Mad, oh.
and then
They don't put emoji, fire.
I said that. Oh my goodness. In like a year or two, when I take pictures of that same person, they'll be like, what were we doing before? Because this one.
It was mad.
So you have those people constantly in your ears telling you how good you are, how great you are, and then still they will be the ones sending you posts of, see this guy, this guy was bad. You don't follow all kind of things, and then even trainings, they encourage, they help you look for growth opportunities and stuff. So I had good people around me, to be honest.
I hear you right. It's passion.
Passion.
It's the right company.
Yes.
It's good company who will always continue to cheer you on and lead you on.
Yes.
Interesting. I find that very, very powerful.
And money.
Yeah. And money. No, right, guy. And money. So What has been the most empowering moment for you via the impact you made, or what has been that most empowering moment? Like, you know what? Because I'm doing this, I feel empowered. I feel like an inspiration. I feel like a champion.
Okay.
You know, yeah. Any of those moments?
I would say I've had several. So I had I was involved in a domestic violence shoot, collaboration shoot at some point. And it really opened my eyes to the fact that I could use my work to speak
Oh, lovely.
on issues, and I could come creatively to it, not just shoot the basic or someone had a bruise here or something like that. You could tell stories with your work. That for me has been, I would say, it has shaped the way I see my work as not just a job, not just work, but also a way to like speak on issues.
In fact, I love the fact that you touch on a very sensitive topic, within the system, and how working on that, has sort of highlighted you, and it's interesting, how that's one area that maybe in this part of the world is slightly a bit on, but it's changing. I mean, the society is getting awake. There's a real awakening, even with work you've just said you've done.
Yeah.
There's many narratives like that, kind of shaping it. So I'll take this question as a two-part question in one. So, for you as a woman, do you think we should have more women supporting other women in the creative space as one? And then number two is, are you doing anything in that space to actually uplift other women, younger women, women your pair, maybe morally, intellectually, emotionally, in that space, or what?
Yeah, I think we as women should find ways in which we can also assist other women that are trying to come into the industry, because to be honest, it can be intimidating. It can be, but as long as you do your part as someone who has been there, who has experiences, and it can make the path like kind of easier for someone coming in, a younger person coming in. And yes, I try my best to employ a lot of ladies that are coming into this space.
So it's
Like,
to mentor them.
yes, like most of my interns were females. Maybe someone just graduated. Interns.
Oh, yeah.
Females. So yeah, and the mentorship was really interesting, and it was important to me to see their growth, to see their dedication. Ah, it is good. It is
Yeah,
good.
I like that. I like that. So what does solidarity among women mean for you in practice? I mean, if
This one
it's
that
what
just talk is solidarity.
solid for okay, I like that. So what advice do you give a young woman trying to break into the field of photography?
I
What
would
advice?
say,
Yeah.
don't be discouraged. Don't be intimidated. Hold and know your power. If you know your power, nobody can intimidate you. If you know how good you are, no matter if you are just starting, you have to visualize it first before it can be.
The mindset is visualization. Fantastic. Fantastic. So hold your power, know who you are, visualize it, the right mindset. I love that. I love that. So what's that one thing you wish someone had told you when you started as a photographer? Maybe something that you wish you had known, like they always say, how old were you? How do people say that thing? How old were you when you found out this thing?
I was today as
That was today, yes, so so what's that one thing you feel possibly if you had known, would have actually shaped your career?
I would
The start.
say, it's not one thing, it's a lot of things, but the most important one would be to treat your photography not just as a hobby, but as a business.
As a business.
Yes. So if you have that mindset that this is actually a business, you tend to do a lot of things differently, even when you're just starting out. You create structures, systems, put systems in place. That kind of thing really helps. And then never stop growing. Because, Washiri.
Okay, so let's end this on a very inspiring note. This is it the new one? I'm learning all of these things. So I was in Zambia recently, and they told me like, is this sunny sign or sad sign or something? You just do something like this too. So yeah, that's their own. This is it. I don't know how you gonna do it, but I learned that. So Okri is what now?
And it's okay.
Oh wow! Oh, very funny. So let's end it on a very inspiring note. What does being a woman in a creative industry mean to you today? What does it mean to you? Being a woman in the creative space, does it mean power? Does it mean the opportunity to be able to, voice, advocate? So what does it mean to you?
It means all of those things. It means power. It means like lending your voice to anything that you feel is important. You can lend your voice as a creative. Like you literally can do anything. Legit. You can do anything you put your mind to do. So yeah, it's just I have power. As I post today, I speak lion.
Wow. Wow. What does that mean?
It means I
So you
speak
like
lion.
I speak confidence, speak power. I love that. That's a new phrase I need to go with. I speak lion. Or should it?
Is
Or should it?
Tiwa Belo's new album.
No, but it's good. It's good. I mean, she's also a very powerful inspiration. Inspiration in that, and I'm hoping we get her on this conversation one day. She's a friend, a sister to me, and someone who sort of inspires me as well. And she's inspired quite a lot of young women.
I was one of the young women.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So shout out to Tiwa Bello. We love you. We really, really, really do love you. So, women creative, what would you love to see differently, and the next generation or the upcoming generation of female creatives?
I just want them to be as strong and as powerful as I know that they can be. As women, we have intuitions, we have mindsets, we have voices, we have a lot to offer. So whereby some people are being intimidated or spoken down to, I don't know. I just hope and believe that change has come
Lovely.
in this space.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you very much. So, my final question.
It has been your final question.
Oh, how many final questions?
Like 3 questions.
But this is not your final question. Okay, so this is your final question. That's your final question. So, where can people find your work and follow your work? Your amazing work. Where can they find you?
Our website is iceMagery.com. Our handles is Ice Portrait.
Okay. So you get that iceImagery.com and then ice_portrait. So her work is amazing. She's such an inspiring woman, well respected in the industry. So thank you so much, Janet, for your time. I think this is powerful. I'm really happy you could share your journey with us as a woman, and thank you for all the inspiring work you create. I know we did something way back, and you show the power of how women really find quite a lot of things. So I say thank you, and thank you for coming on board.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome to be here. You are an inspiration. Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll say thank you for being a part of this. Please follow us on all our social media handles as well. And let's keep bringing, amazing people on this project, as we go along the journey. My name is Kola Oshalusi. See you in the next episode.